this match because it's the first mixed team event at the World Championship ever. And it really is a test model while being a World Championship gold medal, so it's very important to these players. It's very important to the game because there's an idea, at least, that co-ed sports could be very attractive to the Olympics, to the IOC. And so being able to show that men and women can compete at the same time in a team atmosphere like this could be a key to unlock the Olympic future for bowling. So it's really a bold move by the IBF to add this event for the first time ever, and I think it's going to be really exciting.
I think so as well. So here we go, a true champion of champions up on the lanes for Team USA. It's do you know what? It's been a fabulous 4 days. It's action-packed. They've been long days. They've been great days. Team Korea, they've been jubilant with their wins and also gracious in their losses to the trios of the US last night. We're shaping up for the final, of course, of the finals, the mixed team event. And of course, it's Sweden and the USA. Sweden had great support. Their supporters are back in the stadium. They've been here for 4 days supporting their teams. So are the US as well. Lots of Filipino US here based in Dubai. And of course, lots of them got families in the US, but here we go.
Well, there were a lot of discussions about the format of this year's event and a lot of talk about this quicker format, crazier things could happen, and a lot of crazy things did happen, really interesting things. But ultimately, you had the women from the United States win the team gold medal, and you have the Korean men win the gold medal in the team event for men. And no one before this event would have been surprised if Korea won the men's and the USA won the women's. So two extremely strong teams made it through that format no matter what it was and got to the end and won that gold. And right now, I think these are the two best teams that were entered into the mixed team event. Because you're talking about Sweden, who have won a bunch of medals, but had a lot of little disappointments, and USA, which is always pretty much the favorite in international competition, that both made it all the way to this final spot. So we've got the stars are out, the top teams are out. Whatever format you run in bowling, normally the cream is going to rise to the top, and they have again.
Well, it was funny, actually, in the semi-finals, we saw the two Sweden teams face off against each other for the place in this final. And, of course, that team that lost, the Swedish team that lost, featured the new world champion, the singles men's world champion. So, you know, it's ironic that the #1 player, well, not the one in the world, but in this championship, didn't make the finals. But that's the beauty of the sport, isn't it, really? It
is, but before this event, the player on Sweden that everyone would have pointed to as their star player by far is Jesper Svensson. He didn't come through. He didn't end up winning the singles, but he put on a show during qualifying, averaging 269 the first day of this event to raise everybody's eyebrows. And now here he is in the final match of this World Championship, Jesper Svensson. He has the most powerful strike ball on the planet. And of course, his ball hits weakly on that. The ball almost hit and died. Now, normally he drives through the pins like no one else that's ever bowled in the history of this game.
Is that right? Is he
yes,
that?
He is.
Is
yes.
he that good?
He has an ability in his two-handed style and his direct line to the pocket to add to it nearly 600 revolutions. That is higher than really anyone. Some people, if they purposely try, they can get higher. But when he's playing his natural game, the amount of spin he puts on that bowling ball is the highest on the PBA Tour.
Now, you mentioned the pocket there, Tom. For all of our new viewers and lots of people, thousands, many thousands around the world are watching and listening. What does the pocket be when you're actually bowling?
For him, it's the one pin is the one in the front, and then the next two pins are the 2, 3 in the next row. For the left-hander, the 1, 2 is the pocket. So you want your ball to hit the pins between the 1 and 2. Then you're in the pocket. That gives your ball the best chance to carry all 10 pins. That's what Jacob's aiming for right now. Watch, his ball's going to go between that 1-2 right there. That's a perfect pocket hit. And on the right side, it's the 1-3. It's the 1-3 pocket that the players are all trying to hit if they're right-handed. Jesper and Jacob are have been the top 2 left-handed players in professional bowling over the last several years.
Now we looked at Jacob's reaction there. There's a little bit more subdued than we've seen him in his previous strikes, but of course there's a long way to go in these finals. He doesn't want to get too excited, I'm guessing.
Right, and his team is behind right now. If my calculations are right, they're down by 13 pins, and that was the first strike they've had in the game. So usually you're going to see players be more demonstrative when it's a string of strikes. I think if Missy can strike here, I think you might see a little emotion. Because USA needs a double. Got it.
You got it. You've got almost like these pins are falling on your order, Tom. I command you to fall.
It's easy to play the percentages when you consider the talent level of these players. Yeah, see, she wanted that one. That's a double.
Yep.
And now they have a chance to kind of even up this match. If Sandra does not strike here. If Sandra strikes here, Sweden maintains control.
Now Sandra's made a just have a quick look at this ball that comes down.
But Sandra's a tough professional bowler too.
I was going to say, she stumbled the other night, didn't she? She fell over, hurt her ankle, twisted her ankle a little bit, and got up with a bit of a limp. But back for the finals, as you said, she's tough, not only in the way that she scores and celebrates there. Sandra Anderson is a tough cookie because she took a bit of a tumble and a lot of pain, but back with a vengeance tonight.
Kelly Kulick, Kelly and Missy coming down from winning gold in the women's team event, and there's a lot of emotion involved with winning a gold medal. There's tears. There's the anthem is playing. You're getting texts and calls from home. You feel like you've accomplished something. And then immediately after that, you got a few minutes, maybe it was an hour since they've won that gold, to get back on the lanes and try to do it again. You've seen it in the Olympics in sports like swimming, where someone will win a gold and have to come back later. And so you have to get focused again and realize it's time to celebrate that gold another time. Right now, you got to concentrate on winning number 2. So the U.S. has 105 in the 5th. 125 in the 6th.
So this is what I was saying to AJ earlier on, in fact, is that, you know, not too many celebrations with him and the team last night because there's still jobs to do, you know.
Right.
You can celebrate when you get home or after these championships. Not even tonight because they're on the plane in the morning. So maybe on the plane home, you never know. Now that looked like it came down there at a speed and a half, Tom. That was quick.
Sweden has 2 powerful two-handers, one on the right side, one on the left side, and they're both using urethane bowling balls. Jesper a little bit further outside on the lane. William a little closer to the middle of the lane, but both with an amazing amount of revolutions that really send the pins flying.
Well, you can see it in the action of the ball. It makes contact with the pin at the front, and then it bounces back, and then the revolutions take it on again, like a second life almost, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And, you know, you usually are going to sacrifice a little bit of accuracy for extreme power. But, oh, trips. That was a love tap on the 10 pin. By Prather, I admire Prather's form every time I see him bowl. It's almost dead solid perfect. I can tell that he's playing a little left on the lane, and you can see his foot actually dangling off the approach. That's the way it's built. There isn't room for his foot to his trail leg to even stay on a lane. It's interesting.
So this is knife edge bowling at its best. This is what the IBF is all about here in Dubai, and of course, especially in these formats, it's really the top of the top, the cream of the crop in the men's and the women's.
That's they're up by 24 with a double. It's a commanding lead going into the 9th and 10th frame. And remember, if they win this game, they simply take control of the match, and it will mean they have to win the next one to win the gold medal. If they win this, if they win this game, and then the USA comes back in game 2 to win the second game, we're going to go to a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
Here we go, Team USA coming into play here and just missing out on that strike that was so much needed in this fabulous game of bowling that we're seeing tonight. Expo 2020 over the last 4 nights has hosted the biggest championships that there are around, and the world has watched in a new way as well, using this virtual reality system with Strike Cloud 360, and we've been pleased to see that, as well as the action here in the arena with the classic way of watching bowling with the TV cameras. Team US coming in there with the spare needed. So how are we looking on the scores, Tom?
The best the USA can do is 215, and Sweden has that well up. We have a little bit of a pin setter malfunction. We got to reset that pin before Sweden bowls on the right lane.
So as we stand and as we see, this is Sweden's game then in this one. Is that right? Is that what we're looking at on the?
Well, even if Sweden misses in the 9th and 10th frame, they still would end up with 206, 215.
Okay.
And the best USA can possibly do is 215.
Okay.
So 1 mark by Sweden in the last 2 frames. Whoa! Ooh, soccer ball just came right into our booth, and usually you only see that.
Well, yeah, that was interesting. Just in case you're wondering what happened, of course, we are in the Sports, Fitness and Wellbeing Hub here in Dubai, Expo 2020, and it's really, really, really lively action here. Even though the time is, what is the time, Tom? 11:15 at night. There's live football matches going on all around the arena, and one of them nearly got us, Tom.
Sweden strikes here. This first game is theirs. Oh, no, she is not going to, and she 99.9% likely will not convert the 7-10 split. So it's never over till it's over in bowling, and it is not over because of that swishing 7-10, the most feared split in bowling. It was made once on the PBA Tour this year. She gets.
We've said that so many times after the last, so many times the last 4 nights here in Dubai. Let's have a look here.
205 for Sweden in the 9th. USA must strike out to force Sweden to mark. So Jacob has to strike out in the 10th. That's 1.
There he goes. Well, these guys seem to soak up pressure. They seem to enjoy it as well, Tom. It's kind of, you know, I don't know if I'd like that. How about you?
They live for it. They live for pressure. They live for pressure at this level. I mean, that's what makes the game fun for these guys. I mean, think of how much time they put into their game and their practice and how they grew up in this sport, and watch the ones before them that have won these medals. And so they've always wanted to be on this stage, so they embrace it.
Well, embracing it is what they're doing right now. Let's see what the Team US can do.
Got it. One more strike gives the USA 215.
So, according to Tom's calculations, we're just going to check the scores in a moment. We're going to believe it's around about 215 for the US.
If they strike on this ball, this is a huge shot, because the 215 means
Here
Sweden
we go. Have a look,
needs
Tom.
a mark.
There's the scores for you.
That's correct. Big one. He's got them all. It was 215, and after Sweden had this game in hand and then hit the pocket in the 9th frame, but leaves the 7-10. They have 2:05 in the 9th, and they need 10 to tie. They need 11 in the 10th to win, which means they have to have a strike or a spare, and then fill to win this match.
Right, well, let's see what Sweden can do, because they
She
were
left
having...
a 7-10 last, and the last. No. Here we go. No. It's 8.
It's 8.
She's got to make it.
So,
must make the spare.
Must make the spare. That then means, because the US are on 215.
And just 1 pin after that.
1 pin after that,
Yep.
Yep. So.
Now this was an unusual, I think, selection to have her be the anchor for this team. I think really gutsy. Let's see if she picks it up. She got it.
She does. So the 1 pin that she needs, the team of Sweden looking like they've just realized, and of course they have, that they...
That game ended up being a lot closer than it looked.
Well, listen, the US came back with those strikes at the end. It was a lot tighter than it was ever going to be originally.
Yeah, when you're over 30 pins down in the 7th and you end up making it a close match, that's a big comeback. She's got enough.
Yep, she has.
Strikes more than enough. 225. Sweden takes game 1.
So this is the race to 2, as we've been mentioning here in Dubai. All the finals are like that. So Sweden have taken the lead. They have edged ahead in this match, and we are looking at the possibility, if they of course win the next one, the new world champions being what you're looking at and who you're looking at right now. But the US have proved over the last couple of nights that they are never down. And of course we saw it with the trios last night. We've seen it with the para bowlers for the men's singles and the doubles as well today in the Dubai International Bowling Centre. Here we go, game 2. Let's see what we got.
Looks like a new lineup. Both teams stay on the same lane that they started on. Through the rack, he looks good. You can see there's the modern player. It's interesting to me anyway. Look at his eyes when he's at the foul line. He's looking straight down near the foul line when he targets his shot. And the traditional bowler would look down at the arrows and look further down the lane for his target. A lot of the modern players look straight down at the foul line at their release.
Concentration needed of the highest level here. Telling shot there.
Strike for strike, strike for strike. I've never seen a bad match here sitting next to you. They've all been close. They've all gone to the last shot and a 9th and 10th frame roll-off.
They certainly have. They've been keeping us up late as well, haven't they? We've had action after action. Tom's been alongside me in the co-com chair on quite a few occasions. Tom, I have to say a big thank you to you. I know this is our last match together, but you've educated me in a way, along with the other commentators that we've had, your sport of bowling.
We love to help. Love someone like you that's shown so much enthusiasm and been so professional towards our sport. Everybody wants to help you. Everybody wants to help you get, and you'll be a bigger expert than all of us soon, because you understand sports at the highest level in many ways. All sports kind of translate to being the same thing.
Exactly. You know? And of course, we are looking at athletes. These aren't just bowlers and stuff. These are professional athletes. And Team US coming back. You know what we've had, Tom, with the comments on social media, all of the views that I've had all around the world, and many thousands people have loved what they've seen here in Dubai. They've enjoyed it. They've enjoyed the new concept of the way we watched it with virtual reality, the immersive content. It's been a huge success in every level, I think.
Yeah, make sure to go to the Strike Cloud Twitter account as well, and you'll see just incredible highlight reels from every big match. Wow, 3 for 3 for Sweden. Daring the U.S. to keep up.
Keep coming,
yeah, I agree. And what I'm thinking of the 2 9th and 10th frame roll-offs where the USA won as being extremely exciting matches, but You know what one I think I'll always remember from this World Championship was Lithuania winning doubles on the men's side.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Chris. That pin will not go down.
It won't go down, will it, that 10?
And when Lithuania captured its first gold medal in the history of that country, and it's a small country with only about 10 bowling centers in the whole country, and they beat incredible competition like Jesper and Sweden in the final. That shows what any country can do if you have the right leadership and the right and the want to. And the young man who really was the star of that team is 16 years old.
That's
and that shows that there's an incredible future in this game, and there's kids that can bowl at this kind of level and win a gold medal for their country, and he's going to inspire a lot of other kids to take up this game in Lithuania and all around Europe, and these championships will continue to grow.
Yeah, 16 years of age, Lithuania world champions, beating the hot favourites before the match, and of course
Jesper carries in the fourth, and Sweden is 4 for 4. They take the lead with that strike.
Now, I chatted to Jesper behind the scenes the other day, and he was a bit down after his recent losses, and he, but he said, he focuses, he concentrates, and he's got more matches to come, and that's what he's kind of putting them to one side, and this is his chance tonight, obviously. What can the US do to come back?
What a late hit on the 4 pin. That's a literal tripping the 4 in slow motion. You don't have to do slow motion on this one.
Did you see that one that happened earlier on tonight, actually? That AJ and I would turn around to look at each other. The 7 pin was left standing. As the frame came down, a pin rolled across underneath and took out the pin.
Remember what we said? Never stop staring that pin down.
I quoted your exact words on that. I said, if you were here, I said, stare that pin down, and that was your quote I used. Oh, dear. I didn't believe you at all, actually. I said I did at the time. I didn't, but now I do.
That ball got further right than he has been striking consistently. That ball got a little bit further right on the lane. It still recovered and made it to the pocket, but not with enough force to carry all 10 pins. So Sweden's streak is over. They still hold a 20-pin lead in the 3rd frame. USA must win this game to force a roll-off.
So action-packed action as the final on finals day comes to a conclusion. But of course, the US is still not out of this by any chance.
I'll tell you one thing, they are really going to want this double. There's a strike in the 4th off that late roll on the 4 pin by Missy. And now in the 5th frame, maybe the greatest of all time, Kelly Kulick is up with a chance to double up for the United States. That 4 pin.
That's happening again and again on that lane. That's the third time that's happened over there tonight.
Their shots are slightly high on the head pin, which is wrapping around the 4, but those trips are obviously she'll take it.
Yep.
It's very similar to what happened with Missy. I think you're going to see US adjust on that lane, though. If everything's coming up high, they need to make an adjustment.
Clinical stuff again from Sweden. Sandra Andersson has done what she can do in her bowling tonight. Great action there, as you can see on that slow-mo. Great action again.
That means that the US in the 6th frame with a strike and a 3-bagger would essentially tie this match up. Jacob Buttriff. He gets the mix. And with that double, and Sweden only on 1 strike, with another strike in the 7th, the USA would be 129. Sweden in the 5th is 129. It would tie this thing up. We're going down to the wire. We're going to go down to the last shot again.
Now, Jacob, yesterday kind of started the games in the trios. He was not to the level he is now. He was warming up, and now he's on fire. I mean, we saw some early deliveries from him down the lane here in Dubai, and of course, but now he's the man, isn't he? He is on fire.
Yeah, he becomes a striking machine once he's lined up. That 4-pin not as friendly to Sweden on that shot, and the USA basically takes the lead here, especially with a strike in the 7. It'll be an easy pickup for Sweden, but now we've got a very close match. I love watching the men and women be teammates.
I think it's
in
great.
the sport. If you think about sports, you think about mixed doubles, you know, mixed events in tennis. You think about figure skating, and the men and women together in sports, but not many sports can they go hand in hand like this on the same playing field, playing the same sport as teammates, and bowling has that.
I was going to say that exactly the same thing, because I cover sports all around the world, and when you see the pause when we see this shot from Team US.
Oh, and that shot, he did make an adjustment. He hit the pocket flush, and he leaves the 10-pin.
Yes, so normally when you say, for instance, Wimbledon or the US Open, you've got the men's singles, the ladies singles, but when you get to the mixed doubles, the crowd isn't as big. It's not as raucous as it was. But here, the crowd is certainly as big and certainly as into the games, and it shows how the game for the women and the men is on a par.
I agree.
After 7 frames, Sweden leads by 1 pin.
A friend of mine, my name dropping here.
Go on.
But Billie Jean King, the great Billie Jean King.
You're friends with Billie Jean King?
She has told me, yes, I've known her since I covered tennis 20 years ago, and sat with her so many times. She would come visit me, and she would tell me over and over again, co-ed sports is the future. You want them playing together in the same. That's why she has World Team Tennis. Which World Team Tennis is as teams of tennis players with an equal amount of men and women. They play mixed, they play singles, they play doubles, and Jesper liked that one because they want to end this. They don't want to go to a 9th and 10th frame, and they have the lead by 1 pin right now. So if Sweden strikes out, they cannot lose because they lead by 1 pin.
Let's see what the US could do to fight back in this final stages of the mixed teams finals in Dubai.
That was flush from Missy.
That was bringing it home. High fives all around.
Kelly Kulick next up. That's never a great sign for the opponent. Because you always assume Kelly's going to hit the pocket. It's almost a guarantee. So Sweden's looking for a double here again. If Sweden goes off the sheet in the 9th and 10th frames, they will win the gold medal.
Okay, well, you've heard it from the man who knows. Let's see. So, Tom, in the US, these guys, some of the world's best bowlers in Team US, you know, how well are they recognised, you know, in their local towns? Come back to this in a minute.
Oh, there's the first one. 3 more and they'll win this thing. The US is going to need a strike in the 9th. Let's put it this way. If any of these 4 bowlers go into a bowling center, everybody there knows who they are.
They are, right?
Yep, we're going to be signing some autographs.
That's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, that's the way to look at it.
Kelly knows she's got to have this one because they want to. The USA needs to win this game to force a roll off. She did the opposite of what I said. She did not hit the pocket, missed the head pin right, gets 7. And it is a dire situation for the United States.
And I think
nobody would have thought she'd missed the head pin.
Well, this is what you said. This is the thing. This is the goal, isn't it? You think, you know, the person you expect never to miss a shot like that.
Well, you remember USA was going a little bit high, and the idea was maybe they need to move and adjust a little bit. It may have been an over-adjustment, or maybe the lane is just extremely difficult right now, and being just off by a slight hair is not allowing the ball to recover and hit the pocket.
we've seen this as time has gone on. These lanes just suddenly change in the performance, and of course that's the beauty and the skill of this sport when it's played outside.
Okay, that was a must-spare situation. So now the USA, the best they can do with 188 in the 8th, the best they can do is 238. So Sweden goes first. If they get more than 238, they're going to win this gold medal. This first strike will give them 199 in the 8th, 229. The first strike's going to do it.
Okay, so if this is a strike, it's Team Sweden. That's the champions. Let's have a look then.
This first strike will do it for Sweden.
So Tom Clark, PBA Tour Commissioner, sitting alongside me. Let's see what happens.
Oh, he almost leaves the 4-9. That would have been a devastating split for Sweden. Instead, 198 with this spare. Wow, wait till you hear this.
Come on.
If he makes this spare, it'll be 218 in the 9th, and then with a strike, he'd be 238. And what did I tell you the USA can bowl with 3 strikes in the 10th? 238. We could have a tie. If we have the tie, I believe by rule, Sweden will win because they had 1 point in the first. They split and get 0.5 in the second, and Sweden ends up the winner with 1.5 points.
So mathematically, as we watch this,
Now Sweden, this strike means they can't lose. If he made,
we're just going to confirm this. Tom is just chatting to the comms manager, communication manager for Team USA, and verifying some facts. What do we reckon, Tom?
Well, maybe you need to get from the truck. My understanding is if they tie, Sweden will win the gold medal because they won game 1.
Okay, we'll check on that and we'll watch the action in the meantime. I'm just hearing from the authorities that that is correct, Tom, so you're right.
Good,
that
good.
is the laws as it stands.
Well, he didn't strike. So right now, he's got 235 for Sweden. Is it Jacob that's bowling the 10th? I assume it'll be Jacob Buttriff for the United States, but I'm not sure.
We're having a quick look. No, I don't think it is. It's not.
Is it?
It's Kelly.
Oh, it's Kelly. All right, we have the great Kelly Kulick. If she strikes out, the United States will win and force a roll-off. Got to have this one first, though. She needs the first 2 strikes in the 10th. Kelly's got to have it. She pulled it. She pulled it. She pulled it. She overcompensated. Sweden has won. Shows Sweden. There they are.
Champions. The first time the mixed teams have got together. Commiserations to Team USA. But look at this. Team USA realise that they are the world champions. The IBF World Championships goes to Sweden. They have, and they are overjoyed. Jesper has been really deserving of this, and it's a beautiful, beautiful scene that we're seeing here. Not, of course, for the US team who bowl their hearts out. Kelly Kulick there just missing out at the end, but it is Sweden who are the inaugural mixed team world champions of 2021. A place to have it in Dubai, a place to hold it in Expo 2020. Tom, final thoughts for you as we wrap up these games?
Sweden started this off. They won the singles, men's singles, and then they had a lot of struggles. They bowled so well in qualifying over at the bowling center, and when they came in here with their teams that all made the medal rounds, they struggled. They went back and forth. They started to get a little upset even about how things were going for them, and so to see them cap off this World Championship with the mixed team gold medal after really dominating over in the bowling center, and knowing that this win will be the first ever in this event. No one can ever take that away from them. They'll have that for the rest of their lives. That's a legacy they'll always have. And I hope we see a lot more co-ed bowling like this in the future for the World Championships and someday in the Olympic Games.
Well, listen, as they say in my country, from small acorns, big trees grow. And that is a phrase which we hope will see these teams as the co-ed and the mixed teams format go forward from strength to strength. I can't believe for 1 second, Tom, that this is not going to be the case, because it has shown how the co-ed and the mixed team format really works. It is fabulous to watch.